Hey, Old Donkster here. Thanks for watching. I want to do a quick rundown of the Bright Knight for 3.17, my VLS champion. It's a tanky all-arounder that has been around since 3.14 and gets better every league, and it can do all content with a 50 to 100x budget depending on when you buy things and how good are things you buy. It can do most content like the Maven with 25 to 30x of investment, and those are 3.16 prices, about where I was doing things. A few details about the POB real quick. I do not put suffixes unless they're necessary on most of my items, so you have plenty of suffix space to fill in your resistances as well as your missing attributes. I may have put intelligence on a couple of my attributes just because. Also, the DPS you see here is theoretically what you should be roughly getting, maybe a little less than this when you're proper positioning. And then if you have both VLS wells down at the same time, then you're doing roughly double that. I can't give a firm it's exactly double that. It's a little less, somewhere in the ballpark. I wanted to go through some other things. First things, there's a very in-depth notes section here. Please do read through it. If you've never played this build before, it gives you kind of a really good rundown on gems through the axe, what to pick up when, your ascendancies, your bandits, your pantheon, your allocation, your main links for your skills, lightning strike and static strike, a little blurb on how to use these, and then your aura skills, what to use when through as you level, flasks, endgame gear. I'm not updating the build guide because I chose to do a very in-depth POB notes section. If you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me anytime on Discord or Twitch, or if I'm online or something like that. Let's go through the skills real quick. First thing is Val Lightning Strike. I do have multiple gems in here. I have the Awakened versions. One detail on this is POB has not yet updated before 3.17, so therefore the gems are different, the added lightning damage. I will check these out again when they update POB, but there's also updated weapon mods, more flat lightning damage and flat cold damage on flat elemental damage mods for weapons higher tiers. So overall the numbers that we see here shouldn't change very much, the DPS numbers, but just know that these numbers gems haven't been updated yet. I've chosen, you can see which ones I've enabled. I have all of these in here so that you can, as you go through, you can click different ones depending on where you are with the build, so that you can get an accurate damage assessment. Also, another piece is for the min-max version, I have extra auras. The reason I have extra auras that you can choose is that once you have an alls amulet, it allows you to throw on 1 or 2 extra auras. We'll get into that a little more when we talk about the min-max version. In the item section, there are 3 different item sets. There's a min-max item set. There's a endgame item set, so this is where most of us are going to get to and chase. And then there is a more of a single self-found budget item set. These jewels don't update, they update with the tree, so that's why you still see crazy jewels there for the single self-found item set. But all these items update for the single self-found set. Likewise, make sure you're picking the right tree. There are several different trees here. There's a min-max version, a regular endgame 195, which is what maybe if you really like the build you're going to try to get to, and if you love it, then you can try to min-max it and go to 100. Leveling trees all the way from 25 up to 90, as well as a level 95 single self-found tree. Like I said, when you're picking the items and the tree, make sure you pick the right ones together. Let's talk about the different versions. I'm going to do the min-max version first. Item set, min-max VLS, tree, min-max 100. With this, let's go into the configurations tab. I who do not have everything clicked, that gives us DPS, so that there is some wiggle room here What I do have is resonance of 50, because we always has resonance of 50. The exposure type, we're most likely going to have lightning as our exposure type. We always crit, and we are pretty much always leeching, and we're always elusive. We have 20 stacks, and we have endurance and frenzy charges when we're min-maxed. Another piece here is the only time we're going to change this number on bosses, endgame bosses, for all endgame bosses except for Kosis Wave 30. We can get roughly 11 brittle stacks. 10 is enough to get us to 100% crit chance, so I just have it at that. Scorch has a theoretical limit of 30, and every time you do it, it changes the DPS down here, you can see, but just leave it at 25 to give you a general idea of how much you're doing. You can get to 30 on everything except for main end bosses, but that's really the only damage we're worried about. Cyrus here, so it's there. If you do want to play and see how high you could POB warrior it to get your damage all the way up, you can choose things like full life, give yourself some rage, because we do have rage generation if we want it. You could give yourself, we should already have onslaught, but apparently it's not clicked for some reason, even though we're wearing Feral's fur. Oh, I know it's not clicked. When we have Cat's agility on, that triggers onslaught, which is 3 out of 4 seconds we have that. So we have that more often than not. And then the enemy is maimed. This is, remember, it's roughly double that what we could be getting. If we go into our skills, because we're min-max, we're going to turn on Wrath. And you can see that our damage goes way up. That's when we can put Wrath in place of Anger on our Enlightened gem, but we only need a Enlightened 3. But on our Enlightened gem, we can put Wrath in place of Anger. And on my version in 3.16, what I did was I took off Blind because it just wasn't very important at endgame, and I put Anger here. There's not much difference between the regular version and the min-max version as far as overall tree, except for the jewel setting and the clusters. That's kind of the main thing we're looking at. We still have very good endgame damage, even with less than min-max item, less than min-max setup. So we still have a very nice DPS here. Remember, it can get up to roughly double that. And then if you want to, we can always look at the budget version. This is potentially viable in, you'll see that what I have done is our damage went up when we changed the trees. The reason for that is I'm assuming you will not get the interrogation in a single self-found setting. So what I have done is I have changed the tree a little bit, including some mastery choices and things, to maximize crit chance, which you would not be getting, without the interrogation. So if you do the SS or single self-found, make sure you can configure it to get rid of brittle, get rid of scorched, and you can add shocked into the setup to see a more realistic damage number. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me on Discord or, like I said, Twitch when I'm online. I'll be starting with this build in the Conflux League, the private league, kind of a large group found league. I think there's still spots available. You're welcome to come join me there, or just hit me up in the Discord or Twitch.